guys, welcome back. Just want to share something really quickly on the channel regarding DC Fandom. You have to excuse my voice, I'm having sinus issues right now. But just wanted to share this really quickly. There will be no DC Fandom this year, and I highly doubt there will be any moving forward. DC released a statement. They said, with the return of in person events, Warner Bros. Discovery is excited to be able to engage with our fans live at numerous Comic Cons around the world and will not be scheduling DC Fandom for 2022. So I don't really find this as much of a surprise. Like their statement said, with the return of in person events, there's really no need to have a DC fandom again. Um, I think after Comic Con, I think that's when most people were kind of wondering whether or not there was going to be a fandom this year, especially because of the lack of announcements happening at the or during the Warner Brothers panel for DC. Some people were thinking, well, maybe at DC Fandom this year they'll have more to show or talk about. Um, but that was already at the end of July. And I mean, if there was going to be a fandom this year, you would probably already know about it by then because those kinds of things are not just announced, a month in advance or 2 months in advance. You know about those things like pretty far, several months in advance. So I wasn't really thinking that they would have one. Again, like I said, DC Fandom really was a product of things that were happening or not happening, I guess, due to COVID. And they weren't able to have all of these in person events with large crowds and things of that nature. San Diego Comic Con, CCXP in Brazil. So, all of these large events, these con events that happen around the world, that was not happening for quite some time. And so, everything was happening in a virtual sense. And so DC, they did their own thing to have announcements, trailers, teasers, and that's what this was. So now that things are not having to be, are not required to be virtual, it makes sense for them not to have a DC fandom again this year. Or probably, like I said, moving forward. There's really no need for that. So I'm personally not like, oh, this how disappointing. No, I really it's understandable because San Diego Comic Con, CCXP, these other con events that happen around the world. I think there's a New York Comic Con. So those are where large audiences, tons of fans. Those gain a lot of attention. A lot of people show up to them. People watch, the panels online. So that's why it's a big time for, Marvel, Disney, DC, all these different studios to share things that they have coming up because they gain such a large audience during those con events. So there's really no need for them to invest time and money into doing DC fandom again. Again, it was really because of the circumstances. I highly doubt this wouldn't have ever happened had it not been because of the situation surrounding COVID and not being able to have in person live events. So I just wanted to share that, give an update because some people might be wondering still if there's going to be a DC fandom this year or moving forward. I don't think this has anything to do with the new regime coming in and canceling it. I highly doubt that they even had this planned at all during this year because it's not necessary. They knew that Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con was going to happen this year. They know that live in-person events are happening again. So I highly doubt, the old leadership was even planning on doing this either way, regardless of the merger or not. So I don't think it would have happened even if the merger hadn't taken place. I still don't think DC fandom would have happened either. Because the first DC fandom, I mean, you could tell that took a lot of time and planning to do, even though it was virtual, but it's still a lot of things to plan and do to have that kind of, virtual, global, like it says, global experience. To have that kind of thing, it still takes a lot of time and planning ahead of time. So I don't see this as, oh, the new regime came in and canceled it. No, because I highly doubt they were even going to have it in the first place. They might have talked about it and realized, said, hey, these live action or these live in-person events are happening again. There's really no need to invest that time and money into doing a DC fandom. So if you were wondering, now we know for sure. that they're just going to uh, go back to the way things were and share things at the other live action. I keep saying live action. Well, it's kind of live action. It's in person, in person events. And so I just want to share that. But thank you guys for watching. Check out the links in the description. Any videos you might have missed recently. And thank you guys for supporting. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and shout out to any new subscribers as well.